Yeah, y'all. Ha ha. Yeah. I guess the beats got to it. I got close. Sometimes I have that magnetic effect on things. Ha ha ha. Come on, let's do it, y'all. Come on, let's do it. Well, I freaked everything that's falling apart right now. I can't even tell y'all what's going on. This thing was sturdy as all get out. And blink, and it was fall over. Hey, y'all. Ha ha. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to make it so it don't fall again. Come on, the stoop. Yeah. Y'all see my artwork? Yeah. Come on, the stoop, y'all. Y'all can hear this Bed-Stuy story, child. As I wish that this thing stays up. Let me give it some security so it just won't totally fall over. Let's just go back some. Come on, the stoop. I do all this, and all this, honey. But I got a half sister that don't even know if she on this planet Earth or not, honey. So, if my major issue is whether this camera is correct or not, I'm ahead of the game. Let me take this bit down. Come on, the stoop, y'all. I used to call Vanessa. Okay. What y'all know Funky Geneva. I think his name is Calvin now. I don't know. I don't keep up with him. But when a couple of years back, when my daughter introduced me to his videos, he would always say, Nessa girl, Nessa girl. And that used to tickle me. And I was just like, I just knew where he was coming from. When I first moved into Bed-Stuy, into that brownstone, guess who my upstairs neighbor was? Vanessa and her kids. I think I talked about it last week. I didn't connect the dots. Vanessa and her 3 kids and her husband. They married right out of high school. So that's why that thing used to take. And I knew he was talking about, it was like Nessa. I was like, I used to sit on, we didn't call her Nessa, we called her Vanessa. And Vanessa used to work at the number spot around the corner. Vanessa was funny. I have stories about Vanessa, but that's what made me think. That's what made me so endearing to Funky Geneva when he was saying Nessa girl. I was like, yeah, Nessa, and I was like, I know he just made like the whole audience is Nessa girl, but I personally knew a Nessa girl. It was me, Nessa, from Bed-Stuy, honey. Here's the Bed-Stuy stories. Thank y'all for coming on the porch. Yeah, girl. Ooh. What a week. Before we go on, but I don't want anyone to think this is a clout chasing thing I'm going on. That's going on. This is talking about my relationship with a TS woman in transitioning back in. My daughter was born 78, so I'm kind of thinking 80, 81, 82 was me and Martin. Yeah. And I had my own. And she was more like a fairy godmother. That's another thing I didn't understand. When I used to look at those Vice shows, and they would always talk about um, the mothers of the houses, the mothers of the trans girl, the mothers that turned them out, the aunties and stuff like that. Again, I can relate. And especially as I get older, I'm 40, 50. How can I relate to this? How can I have related all these years? My Bed-Stuy stories. My Bed-Stuy stories. Martin was my house mother. Excuse me. I got to break it down to y'all because y'all don't understand. I have this pad here and I haven't gotten rid of it. You know what I was supposed to do? Oh, y'all got to forgive me. Y'all got to hold on a minute. I was supposed to clean these glasses. You'll just hold on a minute. So it's not that I'm looking at anything. Like, it's not like I can see y'all, but I don't want y'all to say, ooh, that's the girl with them dirty glasses. She come on live and she don't clean her glasses. Sometimes I'm old and I be trying to remember what I'm going to sit here and talk to y'all about. I got my priorities. I pick and choose what I'm going to remember. Give me that. Give me that. Let me see before I start moving around and stuff start falling over again. The things these YouTube people must see in the uploads. So yeah, I was like, how can I relate? How can I relate to them? How do I know? I ask myself now. That's why everything I do, I always tell young people, live long enough, live long enough. You're so busy going through it, you really don't know what it is. And so many voices telling you stuff that you really got to hang on into the voice you hear the most is yours. And the one you trust more than anyone else is yours. I ain't no psychiatrist. Don't go around suing me. Don't get my page struck down. I'm just telling you my opinion. Ooh. So, I can relate because that's what mine was to me. My first pair of fake eyelashes, the glue one, everything, it was me and Martin. I had forgotten. The fake press-on Lee nails. To go into the groceries, going to the department stores and getting all the samples and bring them back and just putting them on and smelling them. And that was Martin. I didn't know how to enjoy that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think if I haven't had any perfume the whole time I was down south. Of course, it's water time for the dogs. Anyway, it was It was on one. Now, let me go back a little bit. I came from Brooklyn. I was born in the Bronx. One day, my mother was visiting my aunt, and she went into labor. And whatever day she stayed there, when she got out, I went back to Brooklyn. But I just wish she had stayed in Brooklyn. But anyhow, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. It's after my mother died that. Oh, wait, okay. After my mother, I went to Harlem. Oof, I should do honey Harlem stoop stories, yo. You want to hear some stories? I'll give you also Harlem stoop stories through the eyes of a 11, 11 and a half year old. I can give you that. Oh yeah. But anyway, and they were my father in New Lots. I got some New Lots, New York's. Please, please, please. So I was already here. And then I went down south. And I didn't know what it was. I still didn't realize what it was until now. But to say it was life altering, yeah. I, I was a girl, a young woman, a free thinker in New York. I went down south and became a definitely not a free thinker. Because when I asked questions, it was considered being stupid. And it is stupid to ask questions. It was stupid to ask questions. And then I would go to school and the teacher said, ask questions. I said, but it's stupid to ask questions. I mean, you can't have it both ways. But every trace I have like a fro because we were liberated. We were women. I didn't know then until I got down south that women were suppressed. I didn't know we were just for cooking and cleaning and um, taking care of men and having their babies and um, pay the bills and doing everything. And then the men sit on the couch and you bring them a beer and then you give them food. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't learn that until I went down south. I didn't. I didn't know because, see, my mother went to the March on Washington. We went and we did things. I don't remember until as I said, across that started living across the border, did I realize that I was nothing because I was a woman. I didn't know that. I didn't. I knew. I knew that you know, I had to get rid of one of those spam things that came up. So I go down south and I'm I'm just a kid. I'm a girl, but I'm just a kid. And I'm in school and I'm longing for my sisters and stuff that I left behind, but I was still just me. I didn't know that down south in that Baptist cult that there was no just me. My whole role, my whole existence is to be of service to a man. And they broke me. It took them years of fighting. I mean, fighting cousins, fighting out. incest, the whole 9 yards, the whole 9 yards. Well, they thought they broke me, but I was pretty smart. First, I went and volunteered at a hospital because somehow education scares off the ignorant. So that's why y'all see me walking on the treadmill in the morning and just loving being me. That's one of the very reasons, because that's how I got out of that. Some people turned to drugs, some people turned to prostitutes, some people ran away. No, I volunteered at the Veterans Hospital, and that was respected. So I got out. So I got out of it. And then after that, I got a job. That's the two things that were respected. So I didn't have to do the cults. See? That's how I got out of it. And I was able to be free. I was able to be me and able to be a woman, but it was a stress. They broke me. They really did. And then I thought my way out. So when I came to New York, that's why I love T.S. Woman. When I came to New York, no one knew, no one cared. I was just, they didn't even say I was a Geechee. They said that I was from Trinidad or Jamaica or something. They said that's how I spoke. So, I was off limits. Nobody was like hanging out with me. I wasn't cool. And then I think I was sitting, yeah, I did tell y'all last week. I was out on the stoop with Vanessa, and Martin was coming through, and he said, hey, Vanessa. He probably said, hey, Nessa. And she said, hey, Martin. And I was like, who's that? And said, he thinks he's a girl. That was her response. And I was like, oh. And I looked over and I watched him, and he was working that skirt, honey. He was okay. I know. I listen. Okay, I'll come back to that. I listen to twisted listeners. Twisted listers, LISTERS. And this week they have a list. They're doing a list of transgender people who were just murdered for no other reason. No other reason. Just like race. Oh, you black, we're just gonna kill you. Oh, you're Hispanic, we're just gonna. Oh, you're Asian, we're just gonna kill you. Oh, you're transgender, we're just gonna kill you. None of it makes any sense. And that's why they're throwing you in federal penitentiary for a long, I don't know. I look like I have something on my lip anyway. They're going to throw you in jail for a long time. Long time. Yes, they are. Because you shouldn't be killing. You shouldn't be killing anyway, but none of those reasons are reasons to kill. So the listers are doing it this week, and I could only make it through maybe 15, 20 minutes of it. And I couldn't. I was a wreck. I couldn't. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Excuse me. I don't understand why you're killing trans girls or the trans men. I know what's behind it. It's those cults behind it, and nobody's understanding what I'm saying. I realized what it was. I asked myself for years, what is it? What is this? What is this? So anyway, that's what Martin found. Martin found a little girl from the cult that had been fighting. You know how another way you get out of the cult? I kept good grades enough, and I volunteered at the hospital, and I had a job. So when I put in the application for college, I was turned down mainly. I mean, I didn't have a high GPA, but I had all the qualifications that got me into college. And of course, I wanted to go to HBCU. So, but I knew the only way to get away from the cult was through education. I couldn't say that I'm just going to New York because my father would say, no, I don't want you. I don't want you. Where are you going to stay when you go there? And then I would have to sneak up there. Anyway, it was just like much harder. Some said, no. So I went to Knoxville College. And then I didn't graduate. And then I came to New York. It was just a lot smoother to break the cult. Wasn't going back. Never. Free at last, honey. You have no idea. Free at last. So that's who Martin found. I wasn't wearing lipstick. I wasn't doing anything. I mean, I don't do it now because I found out for health reasons. I found out all the mercury and all that stuff that they put in it to poison you. All the stuff they put in the deodorant that they put underneath your arm. They know they put it underneath there, and then when it gets too much, then they cut the rest. It's a whole long film. Anyway, don't sue me. I'm just talking from personal experience. I am not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. So that's who Martin found. But I want to say this before I forget, but I didn't want to say it in the opening because I don't want anyone to think that I'm clout chasing. But I am so very happy that T.S. Madison has her show on Fox Soul, which is on YouTube. Put Fox Soul on YouTube. And turned out. 8 o'clock on Tuesday. I am so proud. I am so proud. I would put it in my comment openings and my commentaries. I would even do little things with me saying, I can't wait. I can't wait to see Turned Out because I love Maddie, honey. I love Maddie in the morning. I love Maddie T. I love Maddie uh, Queen's Court. I love Maddie Queen Supreme Court. So, but I just can't put it out there like that because they say I be on the YouTube streets and they say when you do that, you clout chasing or you using somebody's name for clicks and views. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Fox Soul. I went over on YouTube. Just say Fox Soul. Say it to the thingy, or just type in Fox Soul for people my age. Then I subscribed, and now I can't wait. But I'm not talking about it no more. I'll be back on Thursday, but on Thursdays I talk about Maddie in the morning, so I should be able to just say a little something about Fox Soul, about turned out. So I don't have my notes in front of me, and I should have had for that. But Fox Soul, 8 p.m. If you want to see Maddie's new show, how about that? So I'm sitting there playing Jane. I think they could tell that I was just free from a cult. I think I look just like those FDLS girls that they rescue from Utah, or like someone coming out of those other cults, all the cults, or the ones that are excommunicated from the cults. I think I look like that, like especially as a woman, beaten down. They teach you that you're nothing. And the man is everything. I couldn't understand why my grandmother always said to me, how do you expect to get a man? How do you expect to get it? When I got older, I was like, that ain't what they want. They do want dominance, complete control, and to be taken care of. But I couldn't understand that because my mother wasn't like that. I mean, she came from Virginia. She ran out of Virginia because of racism and stuff like that. She came up here, she partied, she hollered, she had a good time. But she ain't never turned to her daughters and said anything about how to keep a man and doing this for a man. And then she didn't do that. She be throwing down with men. You put your hands on Leslie Mayfield, you have a problem. she remind me of She be windmilling and throwing every plate, cup, knife, spoon, and fork. So don't mess with her. But when when Martin found me, I mean, I think one day finally I saw him coming down the block, and I don't think maybe Vanessa wasn't there, and I just said, "Hey," and he said, "Hey," and then that's how he finally started coming over, and we started talking, and he didn't say anything about your voice or anything like that, you know. Matter of fact, he probably came over and said something like, "Ooh, I got so." My cramps are so bad. This period is so heavy. I think, I think she said it to get a rise or reaction out of me. But I was like, okay. I'm not a judgmental person. That's how come I couldn't fit in the cults. I couldn't be that judgmental person that looked down on, stepped down on, better than. I couldn't be the better things. I didn't come up with better things. My mother used to tell me that all people are equal, you know. Um, but then, like, I hit my father, and my father, he was in the cult too. He followed Elijah Muhammad, and oof, oof, honey, women to him, women to my sperm donor, useless, worthless, just somebody to screw. Your opinion meant nothing. Your opinion meant nothing. I can't tell you the countless times that I heard him say how stupid my stepmother was, how dumb my stepmother was. Every time you open up your mouth, something dumb comes out. I was like, holy shit. See, my mother would have popped him in his motherfucking mouth. Said, don't talk to me like that. You out your goddamn mind? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. But he says my mother was just a booty call. They, thank goodness, you know. But that was another cult. That was another cult. And that cult is where women are suppressed. You're supposed to. I gotta give it to my half sisters. Let me tell you something. Um, the that sister that came behind me because he made girls. He he. I don't know when um the cult told him that it's men that pick the gender of the baby, or maybe he went to school. He did 4 years worth of school and 10. So maybe along the way, somebody told him that the girls that he had first was the ones that came from his loins. He made that choice. His sperm went in, the egg was just sitting there. Because far as I'm concerned, we was just for screwing. Didn't put too much time into nothing we wanted to do. Um, that was the cult. The sister that came behind me, Sharon, she had a gymnast body as ever I saw. She could have been wonderful, but it wasn't for her to be wonderful. The brothers that came after her, they were wonderful. That's who the sperm donor put all his time into. And though she was extremely talented and extremely attractive, she probably still is. I haven't seen her in years. She wouldn't recognize me. But she spent her whole life fighting until finally she just gave in. And that's how cults do. They break women. And maybe that's why they don't like transgender women, because you ain't breaking them. Martin was fly. He loved being a woman. He loved being a woman. That's what he used to say. Long before Living Color, honey. He loved being a woman. Only thing he working on getting his breasts. It, like I said, Sarah Jessica Parker body. I mean, come on. He had, and he was proud. And here I'm sitting there on the porch with him. I'm looking at him and amazed. And that's why I put this here. In transitioning Martin. And that's why I go back and forth. I don't mean to be distracted. That's why I said about that twisted listers. They said they had to go and do a lot of research because they were using terms that were insulting the community, and they had to go out and learn all this. And I can appreciate where they're coming from, but I gotta tell you, I have to learn also. But I'm telling you how it was back in the day with me and Martin. Martin did not live long enough to go to transition. I thought about trying to name her. See, her, him. We're going back to the 80s. If I could just say she, if I could just said her back then it'd been fine. But I couldn't. I had to switch on and off, and that's why I'm still switching on and off. Because that's how we was trained. If we're alone, I said, "She, oh, Martin, you look pretty. Your hair's so beautiful. Your eyelashes on." And he said, "Vicky, you look good." I was like, "I can't wait to get your breasts." And then we could talk period, and we could talk babies. But then when someone was there, I had to say, "Boy, you too much." I had to strip him, and he would say it too. Do you see how horrible those cults are? And that's why I said to Martin, and I just looked at him and I said, why, why would you want to be a woman? Because I didn't understand that. It's like, what? Men are running and controlling everything. They killing women at will. Ain't nothing being done to them. They just, I mean, putting poison in the community. I mean, they doing everything. During that time when we had the release of the AIDS and the and the crack and then the oh, and it was all men, and everything I was taught through history is all men, so I couldn't understand. And then I was sitting there being beaten down. I was once happy at 13. I was happy to be a woman. And I went down there to that cult, and they made sure to beat, punish. Uh, I mean, to get you in line with the cult. And like I said, I ran from it because I volunteered at the hospital and I got a job. And money and medicine is something the cults can't halfway understand. Some of them don't understand the medicine, but thank goodness the Baptists do. But they always know money. Always know money. Okay, I used to ask to work Sunday morning so I wouldn't have to go to church because, of course, as long as I'm working, I ain't never got to go to church. Cults understand that. If I wasn't working and I didn't go to church, I was going to hell. But if I was working and didn't go to church, it's the whole totally understandable. I mean, I'm looking at it now. And even then, as a teenager, because teenagers aren't dumb, I was saying to myself, this is craziness. I didn't have to go to church during the week if I had to work or volunteer at the hospital. Sometimes, because I had choir rehearsal at school, I could get out of it. But I spent my time running away from it. So that's another thing. So this is who Martin found sitting there when he looked at me and said, "Oh, if you put a little blush on there, it would bring your cheekbones up. You look very pretty if you did." And I was like, "Who are you talking to? You see how I did my lip, and and I was like, yeah, you look good." And oh, he had those kissy lips. Martin had the best lips ever, and that lipstick on those lips, honey, ooh, them kissy lips. And he taught me lipstick. That was back in the days when we was I think they do it now with the eyebrow thing, how they do the whole framing thing. And that's where I got it from. It was him. He was like my mother. So when I looked at the Vice shows and stuff like that, and they go and they live in the house with the mother and stuff like that, and they learn to become girls and how to do the makeup and how to make the inside and the outside match up and stuff, I could relate. I couldn't understand why I could relate, but I could because Martin did that with me. And then when I started working at Robert Fion's, I'm just thinking about it. It's incredible. I got a job at Robert Fion's Beauty School. So then me and Martin was really at it. Then we would really go to the department stores and get our samples and stuff. I didn't end stuff. Martin end stuffed. I wasn't going to jail. I got the samples, and Martin got the end stuff. um, but I could relate to it. And I used to love to see it. I love to see the shows, and I love to hear how the mothers help. And I mean, I just loved all of it. But I used to say to myself, "What is going on with you? You don't know about that. You don't." But I did because I had forgotten. I forgot. I forgot. I lived to be 60s and I forgot until going back to this why I love me some trans women because of Martin. She and I had a ball being women. With Martin, I don't want to start crying. With Martin, I was proud to be a woman. I wasn't just someone to cook your food and have your babies and clean your house and pay the bills and work and work and work and work, and then you hump on me all night all the time. Wasn't it? That's not what being a woman was. I didn't know. I knew before I left New York. When I left New York, I was told to be a proud woman, a proud black woman. They say Afro. Remember, it was Afro American before African American. We couldn't say the whole thing. Go back to your history books and find out why. So I was proud Afro American woman. And when I hit Charleston, South Carolina, within a year and a half, I was a cult woman. And in a cult, a woman's only purpose is to support the leader, allow him to diddle, feel, do whatever he want to do to your little kids, your little grandkids, whatever. It's like an offering. You offer them as an offering to him. He can do whatever he want to do. And you just learn to close your mouth and bear it, and then pray for God to stop it. I didn't. I prayed to the ancestors and my mother, and I said, "Ooh, get me out of here." And she said, "Girl, you go over there and volunteer at the Veterans Hospital. I had to do that a little bit. And then when you got your working papers, you go ahead and get you a job, and you just stay out of that house as much as you can until you get out of there." See, I broke free in my mind. I went to the ancestors, went to my dead mother, my dead aunts. Was my grandmother dead then? No, no, no. My grandmother on my mother's side was still alive. And that's when I called on them, get me out of this. Oh, and that's who Martin saw. Now, had I never went down south, me and Martin would have been equal. I'd have probably saw him down in the village somewhere. I've been hanging out. You know? But I was his canvas, and he was the artist. And he painted me. It always made me laugh when T.S. Madison talked about somebody painting her face, or that always made me laugh because Martin used to do that to me, put my face on. I wasn't going anywhere. We were just messing around. He was going somewhere. I had a baby. Where was I going? But it just makes me think. So, to my point, so I can close out. That's why when I thought about, that's when I thought about, I think I'm supposed to remove you. That's why when I think about um, who I would like to spend the rest of my life with, what's left of it, who would I want? I can't think of anything other than a man that's transitioning to being a woman. I just know I know he's going to take care of that in transition is healthcare. They kept themselves healthy to do this transition. Self-focused, yeah, but so am I. Me and Martin used to do it together. I want a mate that I can go wig shopping with. I want a mate I can go buy and makeup with. And even in lesbian, it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Does it? But a man transitioning to being a woman, that's how it works. And along the way, they want to get their nails done. They want pedicures and they want manicures. And then when they look good, they're going to go shopping. They're going to want to get dresses. They'll listen. My TS woman make and buy all the stockings she stockings and chains. All the same to me, honey. I have a pair of stockings here that I keep to remind me of the most horrible days of being in corporate America ever, ever, ever. Run the people run the corporate America. Run, honey. Start your own corporation. Start your own corporate. I'm telling you, that is where the cults thrive, honey. In corporations. So again, women are always going to be the bottom of the barrel because that's just how cults operate. Gotta be top, gotta be top dog, gotta be bottom. Gotta be top dog and bottom bitch. That's what they talk about. But do your own business. Do your own business. Get your own women's to give you, and especially us women of color, give you money too. No. Mm-mm. That's what Copeland was. So he want to wear stockings. If my my mate, who is male and transitioning to be a woman, wants to wear stockings, I will gladly help pick them out. I will help you put them on, especially getting them pantyhose on, honey. I will help you do that surgery if that's the way you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Me? No. Mm-mm. No. I will shave my legs and grease them up, and they'll look great. Fantastic. You won't even be able to tell. But I am not. I am not. I will not. Put any stockings on me. So that's what I want, and that's why I love it. And I figured, what other way to talk about it other than to, to come on the YouTube. I'll find somebody. Like I said, that show, TLC show, In Transition. I mean, what greater part of life that to me, I was like, oh my God, okay. If you go out there and get a man, okay, oh gosh. He gonna be an old man that's just so mad because now he an old man, and his whole life before he ain't do nothing but step on women and beat them up, and now he or he an old man that had a wife that did everything. He don't even know how to wake up in the morning. She used to wake him up, put his shoes in front of him and his socks. He don't even know how to dress himself. I was like, oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. And I was, oh, okay. Or you get somebody who is at halfway good health, but he got to have you and 10 other women. Not saying that he can necessarily screw me and 10 other women. He has to be a man. And the man, another way is to stay the cock of the walk, is to have a lot of hens. So I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that. No, I don't want that. No. I don't want that. I don't want that. No. And I was like, wow. I was so captivated by that show on TLC called In Transition. Y'all look it up. And you'll see I was so taken. I remember the whole time I was looking, I was like, I'd be there with you. And they were just saying to their mate, just stand there by me. Just support me. Sorry, my hands. Well, I don't have to touch the camera anymore when I have to stop it. That's why I put this here. I was supposed to put this on about 45 minutes ago. Okay, because my hands are so dry when I'm messing around with these phones. So that's what I'm looking for. I know they said when you're asking for, you should be very specific. Very specific. And I gotta tell you. I just want a man that is in transition, and that's another thing. They're happy, 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 happy to be transitioned, happy to make the inside and the outside look the same, happy every time. And then when they're going through transition, they get close. Every day they wake up, they are happy because finally they're able to live in their truth. Happy, happy to live in their truth. That's the mate for me. I know there's down days. I know there's down days. I experienced them with Martin, but I know how to bring you out of it. Let's go shopping. Shoes, pocketbooks. Let's get our nails done, honey. You ain't got to be blue. Let's go over and get us a massage together. That's how you do it when you're in transition. Let's get you a new haircut. You want to do another color? You want to put another color in? You want to go get your eyebrows done? You want to go try on some earrings? I saw some, they have a sale at the store and we can go just try or see how, don't you want new rings? Because I'm a woman and that excites me. And I know trans TS women that shopping excites them too. So I know how to bring you out of your funk. I know how to bring, I know how to even just say at home because I say one. We'd be sitting, he'd come in. I was like, oh, what's wrong? And there'll always be something, because he couldn't get a job, or if he did get a job, it didn't work out good. And, he was on the street. But he would come in. I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, ooh, what's that? What's that you got on? I said, is that new? He would jump up. And honey, he would start voguing. And he said, you noticed it? And I said, I noticed it right away. I noticed it. And he was like, and I knew how to bring that sunshine. I knew how, I don't mean to cry, but just the movie of it. I mean, he would be like totally down, like the world's got, but he always knew how to do a little something to try to make himself feel better. And when he got down there like that, like I said, when he would come, I just knew. I would just that's even if it's here, I was like, "Is your hair growing?" Girl, I hair look at something. He would start, and he was like, "I was waiting for someone to notice." And my Martin, my my Martin interest, he would snap out of it right away. So I know how to bring the smile back to a woman who is in transition, or a I'm sorry, a man who is transitioning to woman. And even when they get there, I know how to keep the happiness going. Because I like complimenting, and unlike the little gay boys that suck it all up and don't throw it back at you, okay? In my experience, and I haven't even told you about the little gay boys' experiences I have. But anyway, in my little gay boy experiences, they didn't throw compliments back at you. It was just them. It was just them. They were the greatest in the room. Nobody else could be great. Nobody could wear a dress. That dress, you could never wear it as good as them. And I never experienced that with Martin. And I even see with TS, she gives out compliments. And that's the beauty of it. And that's another reason why I want a man transition a woman as a mate, because TS women have to look in the mirror every day and say, I'm beautiful. We, as women, should do the same. I do. But I didn't do that until I met Martin. And I'm telling you, his first one, he was like, you put a little rouge on those cheeks and girl, you are so pretty. Do you see how your face is shaped? And I was like, really? I just left the cult, and all they said I was good for was humping. I'm pretty. Who knew? Who knew? So that's the mate I want. And I support the community. So I don't want to hear anything more about y'all saying casting aspersion on old black people, talking about what we is and how we feel about this or how we feel about that. Let's see. You know? And you put us all in the same pot to cook. You know? We all don't fit in the same pot. I don't fit in that pot. I'm not a cult member. I never been. I didn't fit. First, my mother didn't marry my father. And that's what you have to be a cult member. You know? Let's see. Oh. You know? And that's the first thing you have to have. I thought it's going to be as wonderful with my music. I could just slide it right in like I did last week. But for some reason, it's not going to do it on its own. And you have to hear Bluetooth. Bluetooth, see? So I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to get out of the Bluetooth, go back to the music, and you'll hear it more. This is my smooth transition. Thanks so much. And let me do this. Don't y'all forget. Turned out. 8 o'clock. Fox Soul. YouTube. Support the girls. I'm so proud of TS. Go TS. Go community. Y'all gotta break up those cults. Stop trying to get in them cults. You ain't gonna fit. And it's good. Sometimes it's good not to be able to fit. A lot of times it's good not to be able to fit. Hey, I'll see y'all Thursday when we talk about Maddie in the morning. And turn down. Hold on, y'all. Let me check something. Don't go nowhere yet. Don't go nowhere yet. Don't go nowhere yet. I gotta make sure. I gotta check on something. Let me check this. Yep. See my back. Turned out. Fox 5. Tuesday, 8 p.m. We support you, Manny. Well done. Well done. This is it for me. I'll see you Thursday at 4:30. Have a great week. Oh, catch me in the morning. Come walk on the beach with me.